Hello everyone, my name is Umar Sahabo Yuguda and I am currently working with the Adamawa State Ministry of Justice. A few days after I was offered an appointment as a state counsel and upon reporting to the office, I was assigned a case file involving a charge of culpable homicide punishable with death, with instruction to review the file and advise on whether a prima facie case had been established against the named suspect as contained on the file. After I carefully perused the file, I discovered that proper investigation had not been conducted by the officers who handled the case. As such, I could not proceed with returning the file for prosecution, despite the presence of a photograph showing the motionless body of a deceased attached to the file. It is obvious that we prosecutors, no matter how brilliant we are, we cannot add, diminish, polish, or alter fact that we are not uncovered or documented during the course of investigation. Prosecutors are meant to guide the investigating officer in narrating what they discovered in the course of the investigation during trial. Over time, we have noticed in criminal trials that accused persons or defendants are being discharged by courts not because of their innocence, but because of the lapses usually found during investigation and presentation of cases through the investigating officer or the witnesses during trials. It is obvious that when a case is well set out and presented before the court through an investigating officer, witnesses, or victim themselves, even the judge and the defense counsel, men of honor, will be ready to match the prosecution's truth against that of the suspect, that is the defendant. And this will create a fair context, leading to an outcome that satisfies all the norms and precepts of justice, thereby strengthening the society. My lords, Honorable Justice Ishaq Y. Haliru of High Court of Adamawa State had this to say in an unreported case of State vs. Henry Berato and others, in case number HC ADS 63C 2022, and I quote, "Effective prosecution comes with effective investigation. They move hand in hand. In fact, they are like Siemens twins conjoined. The law enforcement agencies must conduct criminal investigation, as he said, properly, efficiently, and effectively in accordance with the provision of the law. Unless that is done, the guilty will continue to escape with long arms of the law, and the society will be the worst hit." My lord further stated that the court cannot dispense justice in vacuum and must remain fair and just in all circumstances. However, this is achievable only if investigating officers are properly oriented and trained in the various aspects of investigation, ranging from how to handle initial reports and conducting preliminary investigations, that is inquiries, to crime scene management, follow-up investigation and arrest, and how to obtain confession, among others. By this, I will take a moment and examine the law and practice on criminal investigation in Nigeria, focusing on the fundamental principles, procedures, and challenges involved. I will also going to highlight the best practice that aim at enhancing the effectiveness, fairness, and integrity of the investigation. There are some key issues which the investigating officers have to take note of. Before I proceed, I would like to define what criminal investigation is. Criminal investigation is an applied science that involves the study of facts that are being used to inform criminal trials. A complete criminal investigation can include searches, interview, interrogation, evidence collection and preservation, and various methods of investigation. The success of an investigation depends on the diversity of skills and expertise within the investigating team. To form an investigation team, individuals with requisite skills, expertise, and qualification must be carefully selected Investigating officers should possess reliability, trustworthiness, and the ability to work together to acquire data and evaluate evidence by relating it with the essential element of the offense with which the suspect is to be charged. For example, in a case of culpable homicide punishable with death, the facts or element that an investigating officer can work with are: 1. The death of a human being actually took place, as such death was caused by the accused person or defendant. 2. The act was done with the intention of causing death. The 3 of it, the accused person or defendant knew that death will be the probable consequences of his act. The actus reus and mens rea in that regard must have to be concurrent. That is, guilty act and guilty mind. This method can be applied to other offenses such as kidnapping, rape, unlawful possession of firearms, armed robbery, defilement, drug trafficking, and human trafficking, among others. Thus, investigating officers such as officers of the Nigerian Police Force, State Security Service, that is SSS, Independent Corrupt and Other Related Offences Commission, that is ICPC, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, and other prosecutorial agencies that double into investigation of criminal activities are advised to use and apply the essential element of the offenses with which the suspect is to be charged during the investigation of crimes. Once these essential elements of the offense are clearly outlined and presented to the court in connection with the accused, there is higher chance that the prosecution will score a conviction. In some countries, outside counsel or experts are engaged to provide specialized guidance to the investigating officers or expertise during investigation to support the prosecution case. The rationale is that such outside counsel had a better understanding of how to prove cases using direct evidence. If I say direct evidence, I mean eyewitness, a person who witnessed the incident at the time when the suspect is committing the crime, and how to prove cases by way of confessional statement or circumstantial evidence as appropriate. The criminal investigation process involves a series of steps law enforcement agents follow to uncover facts, identify suspects as I said earlier, and gather evidence to solve crime. There are some stages of criminal investigating process. The stages can be: first, initial report or crime detection. Initial report normally happen either by the victim themselves or the witnesses who witnessed the incident. The reason why I said the witnesses, because if the victim have died in cases of murder, he cannot stand and report the matter by himself. It is the witness who witnessed the incident can appear before any nearby police to report it to the division. The crimes can be detected by the police or the law enforcement agencies by themselves through either patrol, surveillance, as the case may be. The second stage of criminal investigation process is the preliminary investigation. This preliminary investigation in brief consists of knowing who committed the crime, where does he commit the crime, time the person or the suspect committed the crime. Then crime scene management. After the crime is reported, that is number third of it is crime scene management. After the crime is reported or detected, as I said, a preliminary investigation is conducted. There is what we call crime scene management. Then the investigating police officer are advised immediately after the report to visit the crime, to manage it, and to gather all the vital information as well as the exhibits recovered in the crime scene. The fourth of it is follow-up investigation. Now, there is report. The second one, we said preliminary investigation or crime detection. The third one is crime scene management, then follow-up investigation. After the investigating officer gather all this information I have mentioned earlier, now he have to sit down now, be looking at what he have discovered in the course of investigation to ascertain there is no missing vital information or no vital information is missed. After this, if the suspect is disappeared, the fifth one is arrest. The investigating officer will going to look how they can arrest the perpetrator. After they have arrested the perpetrator and brought him to the detention facility, the investigating officer will then going to conduct interrogation and taking the confession statement of the defendant, or let me say the suspect. That is interrogation and confession. After this happen, there is what we call case file. That is number 7 of it is case file and charging. They can verify case file and send it to the DPP or district attorney, as the case may be, for charging. After charges is filed before the court, there is what we call trial, verdict and sentencing. This is the last stage of criminal investigation process. I will take a moment and explain them bit by bit to the understanding of our investigative officers and to the betterment of our citizens in the country.